host of the Gridiron.
Eli talks about, speaking of quarterbacks, talks about quarterback and the Hall of Fame. Now I think he was making fun of his Hall of Fame, possibly making it to Hall of Fame. We're going to find out this weekend now, right? But he talks about what he likes to see, what he, in the next Giants quarterback. Eli Manning makes something clear to Shedeur Sanders about the potential Giant arrival. If there's anyone who can analyze the Giants perfectly, it's Eli Manning. Now the legendary quarterback has made his thoughts clear to Shedeur Sanders ahead of the prospect's potential arrival in the Big Apple. Giants have struggled to find a true successor to Manning since his retirement. The NFC East franchise has searched extensively for a franchise quarterback, but has yet to find the right fit. Now the team faces a major decision, holding the third overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft and desperate need of a quarterback. The Giants have Shedeur Sanders high on their radar as a potential solution. But Eli Manning sets the record straight for the Giants' next quarterback. Giants have had a difficult transition at quarterback since Eli Manning stepped away in 2020. A year before his retirement, the team obviously selected Daniel Jones and hoping that Jones would be the long-term answer. But nope. However, Jones' tenure in New York fell far short of expectations. After a series of inconsistent performances, the former Duke standout parted ways with the franchise during the 2024 season. Now the Giants are preparing to draft a new quarterback. Holding the third overall pick, they must wait for the Titans and Browns to make their selections before knowing who will be available when they're on the clock. Many mock drafts project Shedeur Sanders to still be on the board when the Giants pick. In anticipation of his potential arrival, Eli Manning outlined in a recent interview on Up and Adams the key qualities the team must evaluate in their next quarterback. So he says, "Oops, sorry, buddy. Is he going through his progressions?" Now, I mean, one thing that seemed to get Daniel Jones a lot. Sometimes he just didn't seem like he was going through his progressions. Seemed like a lot of times he was just locking on a guy, and that's something you can't do. Eli says, "Is he getting the ball out on time?" That's huge too. Is he throwing before receivers come out of their breaks? Yeah, I mean that's quarterback and 101. If you're throwing a football in the backyard with your son, you can wait for him to do the 10 and then cut to his out. Then you can throw the football. You can't do that in the pros. I mean, you have to know, the guy's running, and throw the ball. So as he's turning his break and he's turning to you, the ball's in the air, right? And that was one of the things I heard somebody said on Shedeur, or I think it might have been Shedeur, that he was sometimes he would hold the ball a little too long. I mean, if you're having problems with that in college, it's only going to make it that much worse in the pros. Because every team in the pros every team is Alabama, or every team is Ohio State, or whatever you want. I mean, there's no Chuck E. Cheese teams here in the pros. This is the best of the best. And, obviously there's film on you. They know if you hold the ball or you stare somebody down or something like that, they're going to know that, and you're in trouble. Let's see. Is he taking unnecessary sacks? These criteria should be closely examined when considering Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, both potential targets for the Giants. Regardless of who they select, the new quarterback will be under heavy scrutiny, especially with Eli Manning keeping a watchful eye. And he also says, let's see. I know he was talking about, there you go. Let's see. Simply look at all the clutch moments that he had for his Hall of Fame career. He's a finalist, obviously, right? So when it comes to the rookie class of 2025, Manning, like everyone else, is interested in the draft, has the opinions of who he thinks might be a good fit for the Giant needy team. But rather than make opinions known, Manning, during an interview with Kay Adams on the Up and Adams podcast, instead spoke about what characteristics he likes. He said he was talking about Ward, he was talking about Sanders, he was also talking about Dart as well. So he said it's difficult either being at a game or watching a game on TV and then watching the film where you look and hey, what's this play? What do I think the progression would be? He said. Are the quarterbacks going through their progressions? Are they getting the ball out on time? Are they throwing it before the receivers are coming out of their breaks? Are they taking sacks when they don't have to? So you just look at all those things. Manning, who told the New York Post that he's been open to helping the team scouting quarterbacks. If they asked him to, he didn't reveal if he has been more involved in the process, being beyond offering the occasional feedback. Also, he has the prospects that he might be participating in the family's annual Manning Passing Academy. That was Dart. He was in there, the passing academy. Giants have already done extensive work on the quarterbacks in the draft class, and so far it's almost every mock draft published that they've been linked to either Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. In addition to in-person interviews and on-site information gathering through second and third parties on campus who might know the prospects, a close inspection of the game tape will paint the most complete picture of a prospect's upside. They've played a lot of games, and so at this time, their last year in college, it should be at a high level. He said, you want to see what they have learned. Have they fixed their mistakes? Are they getting any better? Do they think that they have room to grow? I think that's what you look for as a scout from a quarterback. Will their game transfer easily into the NFL? Well, that's not easy. And then he talks about he has a playful response when asked about his Hall of Fame candidacy. Manning will learn this weekend, right? If he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. But if he doesn't, don't expect Manning to be upset about the decision. During an appearance on the Up and Adams podcast, host Kay Adams asked Manning about the pending announcement. In typical Eli Manning fashion, he offered a lighthearted response. Maybe I like the attention, Manning said. Maybe I want to extend this a few more years. It keeps me in the news and keep me relevant if they have this debate. Hopefully I can prolong this for years and years and years so it gives people something to talk about. But then he says, yes, he's joking, although it would probably mean the world to the New Orleans, Louisiana native to receive word in his hometown that he's been voted into the Hall of Fame. Manning has also been one who would rather be a part of the background than one who takes center stage. But in all seriousness, there is bound to be a lot of disappointment if he doesn't get voted into the Hall of Fame this year. Fortunately for Manning, his candidacy isn't a slam dunk. His detractors will point out to his 500 career record in regular season games, a faulty argument given that wins and losses aren't necessarily all on one man's shoulders. Let's see. They might also point out the fact that Manning has never won the MVP award. He did twice in Super Bowls, but or finished as the league leader in passing yards as reasons to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. His supporters will point to the 2 Super Bowl championships over the New England Patriots, including the previously undefeated team in 2007, in which Manning was named MVP of both games. They will likely point to Manning being clutch when it counted the most. When he retired following the 2019 season, Manning's 27th fourth-quarter comebacks tied him with Phillip Rivers of the Chargers, who ironically was part of the trade that brought Manning to the Giants, for 10th place on the all-time list since 1950. Since then, Manning, who's also boasts 4 Pro Bowl berths and was named the co-winner of the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award in 2016 with Arizona Cardinals receiver Larry Fitzgerald, has dropped to 16th. So we're going to find out. I think to me, just to me anyway, I think, now, yeah, you can argue if you want, but I mean, to me, he's a Hall of Famer now, whether you want to put him in the first ballot or whatever. That's, the thing is just with him, is that slowly as the years go by, right? I mean, because you got, obviously Tom Brady retired, you got Ben Roethlisberger retired, you got Drew Brees retired, so he's going to start coming up more and more against other competition. So, but you'll notice the one thing that he has going for him this year is that he's the only quarterback, right? He's the only quarterback. So, I mean, this would be an ideal situation for him to try to get in this year, as I said, because, I can't remember exactly when Roethlisberger retired and all that. So when they'd be eligible, if he starts going head to head against Roethlisberger or Brees or Brady or whatever, and then of course then you'll have more and more guys retire. I mean, obviously then you're going to have Aaron Rodgers retiring soon, and so the longer he has to wait, the more difficult it could wind up being for Eli Manning. So this year would be a perfect time for him to get in, get it all done and over with. To me, obviously there's been a lot of things, about his career. He never led. He was never an All-Pro. He never led the league in this or that or this. But the one thing is that there was certainly times without question, he put the team on his back, and it's not like they had a nice one season or they had a nice run in the playoffs, something like that. No, I mean, he was the MVP of not one, but 2 Super Bowls. Not only that, but he beat Tom Brady twice. I mean, you can argue whatever you want. Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, whoever the best quarterback is, or was what, but so he beat kind of like the GOAT twice. Him and Coughlin outfoxed. If you want to call Belichick the GOAT as far as coaches, beat him twice in the Super Bowl. Not just once. Because let's not forget, Joe Namath got in Super Bowl III. He won that one, right? Yeah, he was the MVP of that Super Bowl, although he never threw a touchdown pass. Joe Namath was the MVP of Super Bowl III. He didn't even throw a pass in the fourth quarter. He just kept handing the ball off. But he had his one game. He had that one huge upset against them, anywhere from an 18 to 21 point favorite Baltimore Colts. He guaranteed it. He went in there. He won it. And basically, if he didn't win that game, he wasn't going to be a Hall of Famer. But that was his one shining moment, Joe Namath. Right. Well, Eli's done it twice. So without question, Eli deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I said, if he gets in first ballot or third or fourth or fifth, but for me, he certainly deserves to be in there without question.